Hey, everyone. Welcome.
Race for LA mayor. On that race, you see these are the second numbers that have come in. Rick Caruso ahead at 50.3, Karen Bass at 49.7. So this essentially is...
Now, this is looking at back in 2020, 22. And it's showing that she was behind back then, and somehow they find the votes always. Watch this.
a tie right now, which is why this thing could take weeks.
Well, turning now to the race for LA's mayor. It is still a toss-up. The latest numbers show developer Rick Caruso has 51% of the vote. Congresswoman Karen Bass has 49%.
In the race for LA mayor, the last tally had Rick Caruso leading Karen Bass by about 12,000 votes, with 44% of the votes counted. The registrar says the next update will be released tomorrow.
The race for LA mayor continues to be a nail-biter. The LA County Registrar of Voters releasing a new batch of ballot totals today, showing Congresswoman Karen Bass trailing Rick Caruso by less than a point. Take a look. Just yesterday, more than 12,000 votes separated Bass and Caruso. Today, that had been whittled down to just 2,695 votes. If you ever needed proof that every vote counts, look no further than the few races that are still in play. They are so close. A day after being in the lead by over 2,000 votes, Bass overtook Caruso and now has about 4,300 vote lead.
New local numbers came down late.
Wonder how history repeats itself.
This afternoon, and here is where we stand right now. Karen Bass has increased her lead over Rick Caruso in the LA mayor's race. She now leads by 29,000 votes, with about 2/3 of the vote counted.
On election night, Karen Bass declared to a crowd of her supporters that she would win the LA mayoral race. And 1 week later, Bass did just that.
Karen Bass has now made history twice. Not only is she the first woman elected as mayor of Los Angeles, Bass drew more votes than any mayoral candidate in LA history.
Some pretty funky stuff's going on in that election. Here, I'm going to play this.
Now to the critical primary elections in California we've been covering all week long. Ballots still being counted with Spencer Pratt's political future hanging in the balance. Steve Kornacki has been at the big board since Tuesday night. He's still watching the votes coming in. Steve, let's talk about that mayoral race. NBC News has already projected Karen Bass will move forward. We were just talking during that last story. You have a bit of an update here, and this next batch of votes we're getting critically important in this race.
Yeah,
hey,
I mean,
Colin.
look, you see some gap here. Remember, top two advancing to the general election. Bass is through. You see a gap between Pratt and Rahman, but the thing to keep in mind is what they're counting up now in LA and in California is the late arriving vote by mail, the stuff that arrived on election day and later. It can come in for up to a week after. And that vote, at least initially, what's been counted of it has been a lot more friendly and to Rahman and less friendly to Pratt than what you see here. And so it raises the possibility, and this is going to come into focus in a big way maybe in the next hour.
Now, this is a few days ago. Now it's down to like less than 7,000 votes.
Expect our next update from L.A. Does that next update bring Rahman closer to Pratt?
It's funny that the one that came in third is now suddenly getting 40% of the vote. 40%. And there was like, I don't know how many 30 or 40, 50 candidates.
Bring Pratt further down. Does it show continued momentum for Rahman? Because if those late arriving vote by mails do continue to break more for her than for Pratt, as you can see, there is still a lot of vote left here in this race. Not out of the question.
No, the Attorney General's office is on it, and the FBI. So I think they're going to wait until it happens and then arrest some people, I think.
Question that Rahman could end up catching Pratt for second place. He's got a pad on her. We're going to get some clarity when we get this next vote update. Folks in LA are telling us sometime this hour they're going to give their next update. Get some clarity there on whether that pad is going to be safe for him.
As we break out the Kornacki calculator, right, we know the spread is about 35,000 votes, if you will, right now. You got 62% of the vote in. Do some of the math for me. How many more votes are we waiting for out there? Do we know tens of thousands, 100,000?
Yeah, no, this could be 250,000 votes, 200,000 votes, you know, and part of it is you don't know because the votes are still coming in. up until a week after the polls close, if the ballot was postmarked, they still count it. So, look, if it was 200,000 votes and Rahman is leading by 15 points over Pratt, say, just as a sake of argument there, that she'd make
It's down to a little over 1% now.
up 30,000, doing it with that. So, and
it's only gone up by about 6%.
What's been counted so far in that late arriving mail, she's
smells.
been more than 10 points ahead of Pratt in that. If that continues with that many votes left, this could get tight.
We'd rather be right and be second than be wrong and be first, obviously. When do we think we'll call this one? Do we have any idea?
Well, what we know is what they're telling us in LA County, and this applies to the city too, is an update this hour, this hour right now, sometime. It could change while you're looking at it right here. And then there's going to be nightly updates. This time, the 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific hour, every day. And they've got this out now for 2-3 weeks. They're planning to do these. So there'll be a fair amount of vote coming in tonight in the next few days, but it will still continue to come. So if this gets real close, I wouldn't expect it for days.
Again, remind our viewers, this is LA, the second largest city in the country. It's been around for a while. Why is it taking so long?
Yeah, it is. It's the late arriving vote by mail. California made that decision a while ago to go, first of all, to like a heavy vote by mail system.
I see now, well, it worked during China virus.
For their state. Like
they can just make up ballots.
85% of all the votes now in California are cast
Whatever
by
they need.
mail, but not many, go to the polls and vote in person anymore. But there's also that critical rule that the votes can continue to come in. The ballots can continue to come in if they're postmarked well after Election Day. And so there ends up at these polling places that they just, at these election offices, I should say, they just have big piles of vote by mail ballots that come in. And when those ballots come in, every single one of them, you got to take it out. You got to go verify the signatures, check to make sure it's a valid ballot. You got to go through a pretty lengthy processing procedure here. It's not like when somebody goes out in person to vote, they check off the name in the box and it gets tabulated by a computer. It's a much more lengthy process for mail. When you've got that many vote by mail ballots, it's just going to clog things up and slow it down.
Easier to do because you can do it from your couch, but then you got to be patient, right? What can you tell us about the governor's race?
Yeah, so it's really
No, that one that's in third already conceded. I wonder what the rules are on that.
Similar story there. Actually, we just got. Okay, Tom. We got
an update there.
Okay, now remember we had
62 before, yeah.
Right, so we did, as you can see, that it's a chunk. There's still
and they had some big batches come in with none for Platt coming in.
A lot more to come, and you can see that Pratt margin now sits.
They said, "Whoopsie, it was a glitch."
At 33,000.
Yeah, it came down. Yeah, it's shrinking.
See, It did come down. Right now, that's a 6-point gap between them. And again, you still have a ton of vote to come there. So again, you just saw.
They're trying to steal it from Hilton too, because they know in the fall if it's two Democrats running for seats, Republicans don't bother going out.
We went from 62 to 66.
Then they went up and
this
down the
came
ballot.
Down to 6 points, came down
That's
to 33,000.
To win all those House
There's
seats.
going to be a lot more updates like that. That continues that trend there of
They're going to
Rahman
win all
getting
of
closer,
California, pretty
which suggests as these continue to come in, it suggests this is going to continue to tighten, and this could get close.
Steve, we're going to keep going. My producers are going to hate me because we're going so long on this, but I'm fascinated by this. I want to keep going on this. Explain to me why, with Spencer Pratt, it seemed to be like he was surging late in this race. His sort of AI ads, his social media campaigns were taking off. Why would those votes, we don't know what they're going to be, but why would the mail-in votes, the later votes, break for Rahman, possibly?
Because that is the pattern in California with this system. I mean, we've seen this now probably for about a decade out there. It's those votes that get tabulated after Election Day. They tend to be, almost always are, heavily Democratic. We've seen this in congressional races in California now over the last decade or so, where on election night, we've had cases, a number of them, where the Republican candidate is ahead at the end of election night. And then it's a process over days, sometimes even weeks in these key congressional races, where just with every one of the updates, like you just saw right here in LA, the Democrats get closer and closer and closer and end up pulling ahead. It's that the Democratic vote, for whatever reason, tends to use the mail a lot more than the Republican voters do, and they tend to send them in much later than the Republican votes do. We've seen this for a long time in California, and it appears we're seeing it again here in this mayor's race.
So we got more voting. We were about to talk about the governor's race. Can you update us?
Right now, I'm doing it on the election right now, Colin, but if I got time at the end, I'll play it. It's a little short thing. It's about the stabbing.
There. Yeah, take a look. So this is going to be new to me, too, when I take a look here. And you could see here.
He's catching up again, right?
Yeah, we got, I'll show you this. Again, a ton to come in the governor's race. I think the basic dynamic is this. So, L.A. County is a big, as you can see, blue. Javier Becerra, this is where he's from. It's an overwhelmingly Democratic county. It's also the biggest vote-producing county in the state. What we're seeing in a governor's race, this is a similar story to what I just said in the mayor's race. You see the Republican here. And remember, top two advance here to the general election. So you see the Republican Steve Hilton in first place. You see two Democrats, Becerra and Steyer, second and third. But again, we're talking about late arriving vote by mail. Heavily pro-Democratic vote is what we've been getting here. And what that means is Becerra has been inching up with each one of these updates. Hilton has been inching down. And I think there's a possibility, a strong possibility, just based on this trend. What ends up happening here is Becerra, as more and more of that vote by mail comes in, moves into first. Hilton falls behind Becerra, and I think the real.
Why do you only have 58% of the vote a day after the election?
Question is becoming Hilton and Steyer. You see Steyer sitting in third place. It's pretty distant here, Steyer to Hilton. That's a pretty big gap there. But these late arriving ballots are so heavily Democratic that, again, it's sort of like I was saying there with Pratt and Rahman in the LA mayor's race. I think ultimately the question is going to be, are they so Democratic that not just Becerra leapfrogs Hilton, but Steyer does too? So I think that's honestly the big suspense here in this governor's race here.
He should have been in jail a long time ago.
Hilton and Steyer, who's going to land in second place?
And I mean, we'll see where it goes. It's still early. We can't talk about this yet, but the headline might be sort of a red mirage in California if the trends that we're seeing hold up.
Yeah, and Tom, I guess this has been like a source of nightmares for Republicans in California because, like I said, this has happened to them in a number of key congressional races. Statewide, we always think California, it's a Democratic state. We don't talk too much about like the presidential election there, Senate races there, but there are competitive House races in California. And this has just been a thing that we've seen a number of times now over the last decade or so, where that late arriving, it's just like a slow.
I'll drag it over and play
Republicans.
it next.
It plays out over days. It plays out over weeks sometimes. The closest congressional race in California back in 2024, where at the end the Republican was overtaken and lost, was a month after the election. That race was called on December 8th, 2024, the last race in the country called. And it was this exact dynamic that we're talking about right here.
Steve Kornacki, so great to have you on nights like this. We appreciate it. We will stay watching this. We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories.
Colin sent me something about the stabbing in England there. I'm going to play it so everyone can see this. Let me make sure the sound's up because it was down for me. There we go. Here we go.
Come on!
I can't enlarge this.
Recording him. No, come on, man. Please. You got big problem, mate. You got big problem.
The guy that stabbed him also threatened to stab someone else, I guess.
Come on! Come, recording him.
I can be.
Was it playing a second time?
Come, recording him. No, come on, man. Please.
Looks like he's wearing a dress.
You got big problem. No knife.
He's nice one to bring home to dinner, huh? Jail him. Put him in jail. I was playing the third time. Yeah, put him in jail, I'd say. Let me grab the. Well, I want to delete the one I just played, so I don't play it a second time. All right, I'm going to play some of these other shorts that other people are talking about California rigging.
Hey, guys, I want you to take a look at this. Yesterday afternoon, the Poly Market came out and has Spencer Pratt losing second place to advance to the November election. He's up by 8 points with 62% of the vote in.
So this is
and they have him
3 to 4 days ago. It's changed since then. It's like 1 point now. Since they had a big, huge 40% of the vote dump, 40 to 50%.
Losing. Who is betting that these mail-in ballots?
How does someone who's in third place get that much vote? And Spencer Pratt get no votes at all. None of them
are going to come in for the third place person, which, if you guys don't know, she's this Indian lady who's an extreme leftist, hardcore communist,
socialist, yeah.
Who couldn't even put a coherent sentence at the debate, made Joe Biden look intelligent.
Yeah, if you watch the debates, it's insane.
And she's going to overtake him. Who knows? Who knows that the fix is in? This is crazy, guys. This race should have been called for Pratt. They already called it for Karen Bass, like 1 minute into it. And Karen Bass is not that much further ahead. Like, Spencer Pratt is at her heels and they won't call it for him, but they called it for her. This is what a banana republic is in California, guys. Gavin,
when they do that too, that's a signal to the other ones counting the votes who still needs votes. They aren't sending the extra votes to Karen Bass, they're sending them to that commie.
Newsom and his cronies in his 10 years have destroyed that state's elections so he can stay in power. Don't forget, Californians recalled him, needed 1 million signatures, and they got it. And he cheated and rigged the election so he can stay in power. Every Californian should be upset. Every one of them.
Absolutely.
Every one of you guys. They are silencing your voice. They don't give a shit about you. They stopped the vote count again. Again last night. 2020 vibes, anyone? The fix is in, guys. We knew the fix was in. I covered it yesterday in my post that went viral. Go check out my page. But the fix is in, man. And who in the betting markets knows that all the mail-in ballots are going to come in for this crazy communist lady that made Joe Biden look coherent?
Yeah, that's not easy.
Just keep an eye on this. Something's up.
A lot of these leftists, I think they've done too many drugs in their lifetime, I tell you.
I could vote 7 times. Having a conversation about election fraud is no longer the solution. That's the distraction, because we already know what to do. Look at these mail-in ballots that I have access to. But don't worry, I won't, because in California, it probably doesn't matter anyway. But this is why mail-in ballots are bad for California. If we can go to the DMV, we can go to the polls. And we can't be using outlier reasons why we need to have this state-of-the-art new process riddled with loopholes. I'm just making a point because I know that there are rentals that have 30 plus ballots going there, and who knows what's happening to them, because you can't prove or disprove election fraud. This is why California needs better protection for its citizens.
Yep. I seen this guy on last night, and I thought he was pretty good on this.
Hey. Welcome.
I'm only going to play a large part of it, but not the whole thing.
Welcome. We have a lot going on tonight. I haven't talked to my wife at all. Say hi, Norika.
Hello.
What's up, dude? All right. So it's been insane. I've been just watching video after video after video, and I'm sure you guys have seen some of the videos out there, especially with that one from Viva. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. That's a crazy one. Lots to look into. Of course, I haven't been able to look into that exactly, but lots to look into. I've been in touch with all the guys from San Bernardino and Riverside, and also some people from Santa Clara County RVs, our registrar of voters, to understand what the hell is going on. So it's got some nuttiness going on to it, but let's get the comments going. All right, so you're not going to believe this timing, because right now we just had actually a data drop. The ballots just dropped, and the race I've been telling you about for like the past 3 days is cracking wide open right in front of our eyes. And I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. Our boy, Spencer Pratt, second place for the mayor of LA, a registered Republican in the bluest city in America. One spot from a November runoff against Karen Bass. His lead over Nitya Raman was 20,000 before I started this live stream right now. Okay. I sat right here, and with RJ right with me, we got the drop as it happened, and I'm going to tell you what that is in a second when I put RJ on here. I'm going to show you the math and show you what happened. Don't lose hope yet. I got you, all right? The new number that distinguishes between Rahman and Pratt was 20,000. Now it's 7,494, and I'll get to you in a second. I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Rahman just took that batch of 13,000 votes in one drop. She cut his lead by more than half in a single update. And it's exactly what I told you would happen, because the late mail in LA is going to break her way every single time, and it has for the past few elections. The wall is cracking live on the show. And it's not just Pratt. Over in the governor's race, Steve Hilton is clinging to second place. And I mean clinging by fingernails at this point. But Tom Steyer, billionaire money, is creeping up behind him with every drop on that as well. 2 Republicans, 2 cliffhangers, 1 night that decides whether the GOP survives.
We don't have our dead people voting, I guess.
Or not. Now, I'm not going to scream rigged, okay? Although I want to at some point, I want to, but it's not. I'm not going to scream it at you yet, okay? I'm going to do something better. I'm going to show you the math. We're going to show you the counties, the exact ballots that are actually moving and shifting these numbers, because once you understand why the late vote leans blue, you'll never get spun up by the cable networks again. And I've been getting spun up all freaking day, and it's pissing me off, okay? That's the whole point of the show, is I'm on this journey with you guys, locked arm in arm, okay? And we're moving forward together, all right? As an army. Tonight we built something nobody else has. I got you a Pratt survival tracker, okay? And you're going to see that in a second. I'll update that live as more ballots get dropped. I got you something. I was talking to the Bianco camp earlier, and I want to tell you guys something in a minute. I'll let RJ explain that to you guys too. I'm going to call it the Bianco effect, okay? This is the blue shift that quantified all of it. Is on the board right now, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the plan. I'm going to walk you through my slides, the big picture, what just moved, what to watch as you're watching your CNNs and your Foxes. Please don't watch MS now. Okay, if you do, that's fine too. I love you anyway, okay? Then I hand it over to my man, RJ. He takes a deep dive into the decision desk, county by county. But do me a favor before we start this, okay? How many we got right now, Norika? Okay, 275 of you guys on Saturday night. You guys rock. Please tell somebody, subscribe, please. I'm trying to share this out because I want to get this ready for November. I want to be breaking huge in November. And without further ado, let's get my man RJ on the screen. Boom. Oops. And on stage. Where are you, RJ? Hold on. Let me get you.
Hey.
Are we good? All right. Awesome.
How are you doing, Ramin? Hey,
I'm doing well, man. Are you ready to break down what's going on? You want to go through the slides real quick before we dive into the decision desk stuff?
Yeah, you take the lead, man. My numbers are ready when you're ready.
Okay, you got it. I'm gonna throw you my slides real quick because this is really amazing that what just happened like right now in front of my eyes. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. So the Spencer Pratt story, America's wildest underdog. This number right here, 7,500, was the amount of between him and Nithya Raman. This was 20,000 right before we started this live stream. And as you and I were talking here, it's shrunk down to 7,494. I'm going to round it up to 7,500 bucks. Okay, 7,500. One spot from a November runoff against Mayor Karen Bass. I think every single ballot that came in probably had to have Nithya Raman on there. What do you think about that? You agree?
I got some numbers. Yeah, no, I'll give it to you very straight. So 60, almost 60,000 votes dropped. I just got this on X from Rob Pyers. Great
okay, I'm gonna put your screen on stage here. Is that you? Right there, that's yours. Okay.
This is me. Okay, so, I'll switch to the. We were talking about the mayor's race. You want to talk about the mayor's race first?
Yeah, let's talk about the mayor, Pratt. This is very important,
okay.
I think.
Okay. So let's switch the screen to Mayor Pratt. I'm reading from something that's not on screen, so bear with me. So a total of 60,000 votes dropped in LA County just today. Wow. And to give you a sense, when we were just getting prepped for the show, Ramin and I. This number 83 down here was around 75. So about 8% of the total vote dropped in one shot, way more than I was expecting.
Wow.
Now, according to Vote Hub, to stay in the game, Nithya Raman needed 20% of today's drop to stay alive. She got 40%. So she got double of what she needed. And so Spencer Pratt's lead went from almost, like Ramin was saying, 20K to, if you do some quick math here, 7K.
RJ, is that possible?
I will decline to comment. But okay. Look at this. I'll just give you the numbers.
I'm just thinking. Yeah. I'm thinking. How many ballots dropped? You said 60,000 ballots dropped, right? Today.
60,000, and so what we're saying is, out of every 100 of those 60,000. 40 had Nithya Raman in the lead. And so 40% went to Raman, 33% went to Bass, and 18% roughly to Pratt. And that's why he lost his lead by 13,000 votes. So now he's down to 7,000. Yeah.
I can almost swallow that. That's like more of a big magnesium pill, but I can almost swallow that. Okay. All right, fine.
83 counted people. This is way worse than some of us were expecting. We were thinking maybe she'd get 18% of this drop. She got 40, which is mind-blowing.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to my deck here. Add to stage here, and I'm going to take yours off real quick. Where's yours? Right there. Remove. All right. So back to where's my thing? Boom. Right there. Okay. So let me go back to my deck here. So that's the Pratt story right here, guys. And here's the deal. So Pratt has 27.32%. All right, and he's got 7,500 votes between him and this gal Raman. By the way, please tell me in the chat if you guys believed her crying. Was she really crying, or do you think she's just faking it? Okay, because that really it triggered me a little bit for her to be doing that. But anyway, I really don't believe these numbers. I don't care what anybody says at this point. I'm not an LA-ster. I'm a San Jose-ster, Northern California guy. But I've been to LA for the past 4 weeks. I think for the past 4 weeks we've been to LA almost.
Hey, Tammy.
So we just got back from LA yesterday. Yeah. Dude, everybody I talk to at the, you know me, I talk to everybody. So everybody I talk to at the coffee shops, at the bell stand, at the hotel, to the cashiers, to whomever I speak to, Pratt, no matter what part of society they're coming from, if they're driving a Bentley or if they're driving a Ford Escort, I don't care. They were all Pratt. I really don't understand what's going on here. I'm just going to put my flag here for a second and then, come back to this in a minute. Okay. So let's keep diving down. Okay. Now we're going to go to the Hilton race. All right. So prior to us starting, where were we at before? We were at 26.84, something like that for Becerra, right, RJ? And then then we were at 26.38, I believe, for Hilton. Now we went down by about 0.3 points. Okay, and this guy Steyer, he came up. And if you've been watching my shorts, you know that I'm trying to calculate these things out for you guys little by little and helping you guys digest these little bit numbers. Okay, but Steyer is coming up. We got 5% differential coming in. And somebody earlier in the chat, I think it was Fariba, asked, hey, when are we going to know the numbers? Well, sorry to say, at this point, some of the counties are saying they're going to have a final number to us by July 2nd. Okay? This is a, I don't know what to call it, okay? But the fourth largest economy in the world, the center of technology of the world, I would say, here, and we can't count ballots. All right, let's move on here. So we're going back to Pratt. This is the Los Angeles mayoral race here. Let's go to this votes turned in. So as of right now, 7,343,006 votes have been turned in. This is from the Secretary of State's website. This is the official ballot count, okay? This is how many ballots have been received. What RJ and I are telling you on the other screens is what ballots have been counted, okay, or registered. They went through a process. The signatures were verified. They opened the ballot. We went to another room. Somebody opened the page later.
Well, I'm hearing that they've got FBI agents right out there now, and DOJ and all that kind of stuff. I hope it's enough because they're pros at doing the stealing, though. They probably got all these ballots out from all these homeless people and stuff like that. But isn't it funny that all the votes they need to go to that third candidate to go in there instead of to Bass? You know what I'm saying? All the extra votes.
Down on a drying sheet or whatever, and so I ran it through a scanner and counted them. That's what we're reporting to you. But this
blatantly, obviously, I agree.
Were received, okay? And remember, we're all
and mail-in voting only for military.
Always talking about what we think is going to come out. So in a typical election, it's a midterm election. It doesn't include a president or something like that. Those are called midterms, which is what this one is. All right, and that's happening in November. A typical turnout for the primary is anywhere from around 8 million to 9.5. I think at this point,
the thing is, they want 2 Democrats on all these races so that they win up and down ticket in the fall. They want to win all these House races too, you know.
RJ, would you say we're leaning towards a 10 million count to come in? Is that what we're thinking?
And they don't want to spend any money on those. So they can
It's
put
a
it into
great
other
question, Ramin. I think we have probably, yeah. So if 7.3 right now, yeah, maybe close to 9. Between 8.5 and 9 is a fair guess.
Okay. So just to give you another number here, just to chew on, 23 million ballots have been sent out by the Secretary of State. 23 million total.
How many of those are to
statewide,
illegals?
right? So of that, that's all the voters in California. Right now, you're sitting at 31%, right there. We're sitting at 31% have been returned. Okay. So that's 44% of those are Republicans. And by the way, this is tapped out. I think these are all Republican votes that have been counted at this point. Okay. Democrats returning about 40%. So about 5% underneath this, Republicans returning. NPP, or the guys who said, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, about 24%. So that's a quarter, 40 and 40, okay, roughly. All right. This is where we're at. But statewide, 31.8%. If we get 10 million ballots, that's roughly 50% of the ballot return. Okay. So I want you to know that's a huge number because I don't expect this many ballots to be returned.
I can click on them and it brings them up on the screen, Colin.
You guys talking to your neighbor and your coworker has had an effect. Good for you. Awesome. Okay. And again, don't forget, guys, this is just batting practice. All right. This is the primary. Now we know what we really have to do. Get out there and hustle the hell out of November. Okay. So for the next few months, I told you guys yesterday, and I was going to give you July off. All right. I may have to take that back. I'm not going to give you July off anymore. Okay. You guys have to get to work. We all have to talk to everybody. Everybody.
If you've caught them even this time, them dropping them in, they burnt one box up because it was probably mostly Republican. That's why they did it. But you catch them stuffing ballots in there. And then the signature verification is a joke.
We know and change this BS that's happening to us. Okay, let me go to the next slide here. Who actually voted? And I've talked to you guys about this before. I'm in the mortgage game. When we say a household formation, that is when a person goes out of mom's basement and buys a house. All right. Typically, that happens at about 35 to 38 years old. Why is that important? Well, when you buy a house, you get a big bill with it. It's called a tax bill, property tax.
One day voting, I believe in. Maybe 2. Like if you do it on a weekend or something. Do it on a weekend then.
And so most people who own homes tend to typically vote for the most part, except for some of Norika's friends who I'll remain nameless, who didn't want to vote this election cycle, which just bewilders me. Anyway, so when we see a household formation, we see people over 35 beginning to vote. 27% of the people between 35 and 49 voted. 50 to 64, 41% of the people who returned their ballot. And look at this, guys, 65 and older, people who are now retired or coming to retirement, half, 60%, a little bit over half, okay? This is a crazy number. This is a crazy number. So I want you to know the older folks are voting. The younger guys, come on, man. How many 12-inch speakers are you put in your car, dude? Okay,
but then they couldn't cheat so well.
Start paying attention to what's going to happen to your future. So, guys, if you have kids that you haven't registered, please register them. Please talk to your kids' friends and make sure they're registered to vote. It's critical for November. Okay, so this was batting practice today. June 2nd was batting practice. November 2nd is the World Series. All right,
we got to get in.
Let's go on. So right now,
we got to get some people through these primaries if they don't steal them here.
Pratt leads.
So they should have a Republican primary and a Democrat primary, and maybe even an independent primary.
Rahman by 7,500 votes.
Or third party.
33.1%. 69% of the votes are in. All right. Rahman's edge in the latest votes is 21%. LA ballots still uncounted. 40,000. Okay. I'm sorry, 195,000 LA ballots still uncounted. So almost 200,000 ballots uncounted. Rahman nets 40 and passes Pratt. That's all that's left here. Okay, guys. So almost, I'm not going to say Pratt's out yet. I think Pratt's still in. RJ, give me that determination in a second. A couple of people have said a few things, and I'll dive into this too. Do you want to? Let me share your screen back, RJ, and let's get back into maybe answer some comments here. Let me throw your screen on stage. Take mine off. Boom. Okay. So, how do you feel about what I just said?
Both the races are very, very interesting right now. On my screen right now, I have the governor's race. I was going to do a breakdown, but a quick comment on Pratt. Basically, the Pratt situation is that Raman's numbers today.
Some people need to talk.
Went double of what she needed, more than anybody expected, and so that's why the gap closed so fast, and there's not that much runway left for Pratt, so not looking that great. Glass half full is the other race, the governor's race. I can give you a quick breakdown. So we had about 2% of the total vote for governor. I'll do a refresh just to be safe.
Awesome.
It came in from 3 different counties. It came in from Santa Clara County up here in North California, and then from Southern California we had Orange County drop.
Tammy, how's the hockey going?
Okay. So what was the net outcome? The net outcome is Tom Steyer closed in on Hilton by about 20,000 votes, but that still means Hilton is 317,000 votes ahead of Tom Steyer. If anybody's interested, basically, if I break it down, yes. So LA County, Becerra obviously in first. Tom Steyer got.
I can't even believe he's in first. Be honest.
LA today, Tom Steyer got 31%. Hilton got only 14% today, and Chad Bianco got 4%.
Yeah.
So very lopsided from LA County, kind of mirroring the mayor votes as well.
John, I did see that the SAFE Act did pass the Senate. It's got to go back to the House because they amended it a little bit. But they did pass the Senate late one night there. After the first time, they turned it down. Collins and a few others voted against it. Then they got a whole bunch of calls to their office. And so then they had another vote on it. They made a little tiny amendment to it. I guess it wasn't a big deal amendment from what I hear. And so then it passed. And now it's back to the House, which it'll pass. And it's going to go to Trump's desk. Now they're going to have lawfare against this to try to block the SAFE Act, where you got to show voter ID and all that kind of stuff. But that should be in place for the fall. So they're desperate to knock them all out in these jungle primaries. The jungle primaries is so they can have 2 Democrats and Republicans don't turn out. Then it hurts you up and down the ticket.
So take that for what you will. Orange County was a very different story.
Good.
And
cool.
In Orange County,
I love this.
Yeah. So Orange County, Steve Hilton got most of the votes today. He got 31% of those votes, which the total votes that dropped in that county were about 45,000. So Steve Hilton got most of them, a third of them. Then Javier, a little bit behind him. Steyer came in third.
The thing is, you got to lock that change in too, John. When we put it in, they got to put it in a way that it's really hard for the Democrats to take out. Because if it's just an executive order, they'll just change it to second to get back in power.
And Chad Bianco came in fourth in Orange County today. And that leaves one more draw. That's Santa Clara County. So Santa Clara County, they dropped, what are you looking at here? About 30,000 votes, let's say. Okay. About a third of those went to Becerra, a third went to Steyer, 17% went to Hilton, and then 3% of that went to Bianco. So basically, the Orange County really blunted any progress Steyer was trying to make today from LA. And that's what I've been trying to say, that the beauty of Steve Hilton is he gets city votes, urban votes enough. So whatever he lost in LA, he gained in Orange County. And then Santa Clara County didn't. It's really important. and so that's why he's been able to hold off Steyer this long. So to recap, we are 72% in on the governor's race statewide. Hilton is 320,000 votes roughly ahead of Tom Steyer. That should hold. And for those who are interested, the betting market is staying stable. So basically,
they're talking about July 10th before they make a decision on this.
Ever since 5 p.m. yesterday, when the LA County votes dropped.
And if you know it's close, they'll have lawsuits that look at certain ballots and try to okay ones that were turned down, that kind of stuff.
His lead is growing and staying stable over.
Maybe they'll find a few boxes in the back of some rental car or something.
Tom Steyer.
They did that before.
According to the betting markets, Becerra obviously is already qualified for November. Hilton has an 88.5% chance of going through to November. Steyer has 9% chance.
So people betting still think that Hilton's going to make it.
Yes, and overwhelmingly so.
Okay, excellent. That's good to know. Now, I want to go to the Bianco thing. All right, so I had a call from a few Bianco people today, and it was very interesting.
Got to come up with 300
look
some
at what
thousand
Bianco's rating is there? What's his
on top of whatever Hilton's gonna get.
Okay, awesome. So you guys in Riverside County. By the way, do we know what the ballot count? Let me throw my projection here on. Let me put this on stage. Here we go. Let me just tell you about Bianco's numbers. Okay, so Hilton and Bianco combined would have been 2.5 million votes, 2.4 million votes. Okay, that's a clear first place winner. Herb Bracera's 1.7 million. All right, so Hilton's stuck in second because of 697 GOP votes went to the other camp, which is fine. Okay, and I really appreciate everybody in Bianco's camp. But they were saying that, hey man, Bianco's numbers never moved. I was like, okay, wait, that's interesting. You're right, because I was seeing always 10.7, 10.7. What's going on? You know, this number here, 10.6, whatever.
It's not going down.
I dug in, and I'll let RJ talk about this in a second. But Bianco received, I think, 66,000 votes extra from a couple days ago till now. So yes, it has moved. Okay, however, it hasn't moved that much. Now, here's the other part of this. I think, what do we got? Here, San Bernardino County. Okay, so they've counted 61% of the votes. San Bernardino, 85% of the vote for San Bernardino. Riverside County is 61%. That's Chad's country. All right there, okay? So only 60% of the votes are in. We've got another 40% left, and I'm in touch with a lot of the integrity office guys over there. So they're watching the ballot count like hawks. I want you to know they're inside the rooms watching these people count ballots every single day. So that's kind of cool. I like it. What they're looking for is discrepancies between what's being counted and what's being reported. So I'll let you know as soon as I have a tab on that. As soon as I get one. They're telling me that they're going to have this is called a canvas period. That's when all the ballots come in and we count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we say we got 25 ballots here.
Yeah, okay? 1 point game.
We're allowed to canvas and say, hey, how many ballots you guys have left in that box? Oh, how many over there? That's called the canvassing period. When the canvassing period is over, the actual results get logged and counted. This is going to be, by all counts and measures that are telling me right now, June 12th. What is that? That's today is the 6th, so that means 6 days from now, which is what?
Actually, to go there and win 2 at the Spurs thing, they're in the driver's seat now. They even win 1 at home. They can go over there, lose again. Then it'll be 3-2. They win 1 at home. Then they can come back home and win it. That's 4 games to 2.
Thursday, Friday of next week. Okay, by Friday of next week, all of Riverside County.
Oh, your youngest is 31.
What do you call that? Reconciled. And reconciliation is this. Column A equals column B. We received this many votes. We counted this many votes. Reconciliation. That's a big one. Okay. And the guys over there are working on that right now. Okay. So keep an eye open for that. San Bernardino County, which is right next door to you guys, 85% of your guys' vote is in, which is interesting. So there's 20% left. All right. Only 327,000 ballots were cast. So it's similar to Riverside County. I don't think that's going to move the needle for you guys. I don't know where that's going to come from, but I just want you to know that this whole the thought about Bianco's lead never changed from 10.7 or whatever it was. Yes, it did. We're showing 66,000 ballots counted for Bianco's camp from these counties. Okay, and here's where the votes are. LA County is still blue. Okay, Sacramento obviously is still blue. The big ones to be scared of, guys, San Mateo, San Francisco. What do you think, RJ, of the rest of the counties that we should be scared of?
Sure. So I'll put it this way. It's all down to LA County for me. LA and maybe Alameda County.
Okay.
Because those are 2 high population counties where obviously it's a blue district, but more importantly, those are districts that Tom Steyer can still pick up some votes.
Oh, it's John's birthday?
But we're closing in because LA, according to my dashboard here, LA is almost 80% counted, right? And then the other one was Alameda, and that one is there's about a third of the vote out. So Alameda still has some votes, but not nearly as many as LA would. So I'm feeling pretty good if I'm a Hilton, cheerleader at this point.
Okay.
Just one thing I wanted to point out since we were talking about Riverside, because we were glued to this screen, right? So I was watching the screen, whether you like it or not, like a hawk. And this Bianco's lead oscillated between 2 and 3% plus and minus all week. As of today, we had a drop from Riverside late yesterday. So Bianco's lead is now 1.8%. Granted, there's almost 40% of the votes still to be counted in Riverside, but that number has gone up and down is the main point I'm making. And his total vote count as a candidate right now is in the 10s, so 10.5, but it was in the 11s just a day ago, and then it was 12 or just short of 12 on election day. So we've been tracking this, folks. The numbers are moving. They're just not.
We're always losing in California.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to throw a couple shout outs. First of all, I want to throw a shout out to Wallback JHS. Thank you, Property Manager Merced. I really appreciate all you do. Thank you. I appreciate all that you're doing. I really do. You guys are super generous, and I appreciate that very, very much. I appreciate you guys.
Oh, did you see these other two? Sorry,
Yep.
Jenna.
Hey, what's up, Jen? How are you? Rahman, I really love you so much, my brother. Okay, I appreciate you, man. Rick, thank you so much. And you did it again. Bam, right there. Rahman, I appreciate you right back, man. Thank you so much, Rick. Really, really super appreciate you. Okay, listen, I want to see, I don't know if you guys can see the hearts.
Lots of hours.
Give me some 100% in there. Can we get some 100% like this? I don't know how to do this.
It's going in the wrong direction.
Should we go through some questions?
Let's go through some questions. And actually, we got one more. I wanted to also reach out to Sean. Every county that finishes should send their people to LA for another county.
What is the latest on Wimpkin? Has he sold it? What's happening? Is live streaming going to come back there? What's the story on that? Does anyone know?
Lagging, yep. Like firefighters consider a disaster. It is a disaster situation. I 100% agree with you. This is a disaster situation. 100%. I appreciate you, Sean. Thank you so much. All right, Jen, you're in charge of your comments. Let's go. What do you got?
Okay, I agree with you, Ricky. Rick, how have you done? You've done a great job, Ramin. Thank you, Norika, for all the time you delivered.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you.
This one, let's see.
Well, there's a reason for that. That's a population thing. So LA is the biggest county, and also just for reference, guys, LA is the second largest city in the United States of America. So that's a pretty big deal. Okay, so that's why they make up such a big count here. All right, every county that finishes just yes, absolutely, they should send their people over. Now about mentioning the percentages from a few other counties besides. Okay, what do you got, Thomas? Throw it in the chat. Which counties do you want? I'll start covering the big blue counties first, and then we'll go down in a second after we receive some comments. I want to answer some questions here. What else you got? But what will be done about this? Listen, I don't know. I'm heartened by Bill Asaley being in town. I'm also heartened by Harneet Dillon being in town. I'm also heartened by Trump's tweets. Okay, but I'm not heartened by not seeing a lot of fuzzy handcuffs and orange jumpsuits being delivered to people and walking them the hell out of these voting places. Okay, now here's another thing I want to tell you.
They are saying that they do have people on this, but by the time they do something about it, might be too late.
If you guys haven't seen that Viva Free video, please check that out. It talks about this one reporter. I'm going to try to get him on here myself, but he's talking about how ballots are being harvested from rent-a-centers and what do you call it? The public, what do you call it? Rent-a-can.
About a month and a half.
So some address from where Rent-A-Can was delivered, you got 150 ballots showing up. Interesting, right? So I don't know if this is true or not. I'm definitely going to dig into this 180%. But here's what I have faith in. We got to trust some of the system somewhere, okay, at some point. I'm really hoping that the voter ID thing, it's going to be on the ballots no matter what in November. That's 100% according to Carl DeMaio. That's going to be there. We all need to turn this vote out and come in. All right, let's go to the next one. How many of these GOP candidates, rhinos, will become communist Democrats after getting into office? You know what? Again, this comes back to the whole thing about you guys were talking about Chad did this and Hilton did that and Hilton's a British plant and Chad knelt the BLM. I don't give a damn, okay? Here's the problem. You guys are focusing on small little items. We were in a car wreck. The window's smashed in. I got a steel rod sticking out of my spleen, all right? What am I worried about? That my finger's bleeding and my finger's got like a little splinter here? I don't care about the splinter. I can't get this damn stick out of my spleen. That's what we care about, okay? So is Hilton better than Becerra? I think so. Is Chad better than Steyer? Yeah, you bet you. Okay, I don't care what happened.
Stamps
Whatever happened, it's
again.
better than what we have on the stage right now.
Oh, you mean like
and
for
100%
mailing?
better than Newsom. And if you disagree with me, hit me up
I hardly
in the
use any
comments. Please
stamps.
let me know, because I really, truly, we got to look. We're a family. We got to come together. Yeah, our nephew over here or whatever, our cousin, he sucks. Okay, whatever. Okay, fine, but he's still our cousin. All right, let's become a family again. You are the best out there. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right, next, watching in New York, hey, look at this, New York. Holy cow! I feel bad for you guys, Jake. I really do, man. Are you in New York City? You guys are in trouble. Mamdani could be the downfall of New York. And you know what?
Already is.
Remember I told you $12 gas? I want it. I want the failure of New York. I really do, because that shows what's happening. That'll show those people who voted him in. There is no free lunch. There is no free apartments and free buses and free grocery centers. The free is on my back and on your back with taxes and taking the properties away from you. You guys saw that video I did about them now seizing property if you don't maintain it, if you're a slumlord. Okay, what defines a slumlord? Just like the vehicle mileage tax. What defines that? What defines the billionaire tax?
Oh, forever stamps.
Tomorrow it's
You
millionaires.
buy forever stamps.
After
Okay.
tomorrow it's you and me. Okay. All right. Is there's zero accountability? Yeah, I agree with you. 100.
Well, they're collecting interest on having your money.
Who's next on there, Jenna? Get rid of all the voting machines, Dominion software, and smart. You know what? I'm with you on that.
Well, did you see what the post office spent their money on? $6 million mail trucks that were electric, and they can't even use the damn thing. 6 of them, $6 million a piece, and they don't even. They have no way of charging them. They don't work. They don't stay at. It's ridiculous. The money went to China, though.
I want to see hand counting ballots. I really do. I think we can do it. All right.
Yeah, he is designed to ruin. I agree.
We can't verify the primary until it's audited. Keyword: audited, but also reconciled.
I can't afford to leave the state. I live in a trailer.
Column B. These need to match. These two numbers need to match. How many we got? How many we counted?
I'm glad I don't live in New York
City. That's the first step in the audit. Okay, and you're 100% right. Next. They can't make arrests until a primary is certified. And that's going to be an interesting thing. So once the Secretary of State gets all these ballots from all these 58 counties and says the ROV registers and says, I certify this many ballots needs to be out there. We counted this many. And she puts her stamp on it. That's when all hell's going to break loose. All right. Pratt needs to start looking at getting a very good lawyer. I think he's already got.
That part he just said is what I'm hearing too. A lot of podcasters in that are saying that. They're waiting for them to okay this election, then they're going to go in and go after them.
Lawyers out there, and there was another comment earlier I read about Pratt's already fired up. Okay, so Viva Fry and Mark Grober, yeah, that was a great one. That's the one I'm talking about. Watch that. Ventura County, final certification expected July 10th, 2026. This is absolutely unacceptable. Do we have a number on Ventura County, RJ?
Oh, sure. Bear with me.
Let's throw you back on the screen here.
Sure. Can you shout out either of you, which are the other counties people wanted to closer look at?
Sure, absolutely. Jen, you got an eye on the ballot or on the chat?
Yeah, I'm going through it right now. So as soon as you're, I'll try to pull up the next county. And if you guys want to comment below, if you want us to pull in your county, if you just populate just the keyword, just your county in the comments, I will go through all those and we'll go through all of the ones that you guys populate. How about that?
Awesome. Ian Gotti, this process makes no sense for the rest of it. Doesn't make sense to third world countries. So yeah, absolutely right. Go on.
All right. Rapid fire. So the first one we picked was Ventura County. Ventura County. Oh, it always refreshes on me just when I'm ready to talk. Okay. So Ventura County is a Hilton County. By the way, Ramin, somebody pointed this out that sometimes people can't see because of the icons, but I think they can see right now.
Right now, okay. I put full screen. Yeah, I'm on full screen.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So Ventura County is a Hilton County, and he is ahead at 31% of that vote. Vote counted is 2/3, 1/3 is still out. Becerra in second, Steyer in third. So this is going to keep feeding Hilton's vote count and keep Steyer at bay. I think I saw somewhere in the comments somebody.
That's an environmentalist, a Steyer guy.
Oh, I was gonna.
He's a nutcake environmentalist.
I have him listed first. That way we can.
Oh, please, yeah, alphabetically, yeah, that'd be great.
That Steyer guy wants to end all all using, if any, fossil fuels in the state.
For you. Yeah, so let's go. I know there was Kern, but first was San Diego. So that was the next one. I think San Diego. That's a good one too. So
Okay, great.
But he's a billionaire.
I'll try and keep it alphabetical. Okay, San Diego. San Diego is another favorite county of Steve Hilton. 76% in. Hilton in the lead at 31. Becerra 26. And Steyer at 19. Almost identical, by the way, percentages to Ventura County, just different raw votes. So just some food for thought there.
and then the next one would be Orange County, which is kind of, near San Diego and in between, which is like another good,
We did. And these votes, they actually had a drop today. So this really, really did help Hilton. It's one of his best counties. He's at 36%. And they are 83% in, Becerra in second, Steyer in third. So
see, they're looking a lot at the governor's race, but not much at the mayor's race. They kind of think that that's gone.
Each time, folks, you see Steyer in third, that's a really good county percentage-wise for Hilton to maintain most of his lead. All right, next one, please.
Yeah, so next one we have Imperial County.
Oh, wow.
I got it.
Cool.
Okay, so this is a smaller county, but it's a Becerra county. Bianco did well in this one. He is in second. Becerra 26%. Bianco just under 20. And then in third was actually Steyer at 18.5. And they are 82% counted. They didn't have any new votes cast or posted today.
And now Kern County.
Okay.
Kern County, just don't quit.
Here we are. Yeah, I think I was
When
here.
you get down to LA County, that's
same
a big one.
deal. It's a Hilton County, 36%
almost 80%
for Hilton, followed by Bianco at 21, Becerra at 17. So big gaps between the top three ranked candidates, and they are 62% in.
And then
RJ?
Stanislaus County next.
Stanislaus.
Stanislaus, sorry, I pronounced it wrong. Sorry.
No worries.
Hang on.
Turlock, Modesto, Riverbank.
Oh, geez. It keeps refreshing on me, people. I promise I'm not doing that. Okay. So Stanislaus, also 67. A Hilton County. Yeah. Okay. 68% counted. Hilton in first at 34, followed by Becerra at 24, then Bianco at 17.5.
And then while we're on it, San Bernardino is the next one that I got some comments for, which is a good one because it's also, that is the two counties are Riverside and San Bernardino. That Bianco is.
That's 85%. Wow.
Yeah. So that's 85% counted. Hilton in first at 25. Becerra in the 24s. Bianco at 21 and change.
I want to throw my stage here. Let me grab this real quick. Remove and throw on stage. So I got the best counties and the worst counties up here. The best counties, congratulations, guys. Colusa, you guys rock. Okay, King County, rock. Amador, you guys kick butt. Look at this. 95% of your votes are in on all three counties here. We can consider these guys done. Marin, you guys suck. All right. Mendocino, look at that. 36%, 33% for Marin. By the way, guys, Marin County, correct me if I'm wrong, RJ, isn't Marin County, Sausalito, and those guys, right?
I think you're correct. And it is one of the few counties where Steyer is mildly in the lead by just like 0.1%.
So just an FYI on Marin, it is one of the highest or most expensive houses in the United States, followed by quickly San Mateo. And Marin is very old money. So it's a lot of you have yachts and everything like that. We're talking about, 60-foot yachts just cruising and having dinner type of thing. Okay. That's Marin
the bougie
County
area.
It's hella bougie. All right. Yeah. So that's 33% of the vote. And you guys are lazy rich people. Mendocino, which is right up the coast from Marin, and they're 36%. So these guys were out swimming in the bay or something like that. LA, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing. And here's another thing I want to throw out there. Out of the 23 million ballots put out there, we're expecting,
stationary,
1,100,000 from Los Angeles and only 70% rocking. And this to me is like the most utter disappointment. And I if you guys have watched that free video, what is it, Viva Free, it makes me really, really sketched about what's happening here. Okay, but I'm going to take my thing off and put you back on stage.
I just wanted to. We got a really good. Thank you. Another one.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate you, man. Republican Party. Oh, Merced, that's Gene. I love you, Gene. Thank you, man. Appreciate you very much. Awesome, dude. Thank you.
All
right.
Well,
here's some more. You want to go back to this, but I'll just say, are mail-in ballots opened and fed into the counting machine after the polls close?
Good question. So here's what I got from my little walkthrough in, where were we the other day? We were in San Mateo. So I went to the ROV and I got a tour of the ROV. Please, actually, guys, every single one of you have the right to do this. Go tour and they'll walk you through it. They'll give you a red pen because the machine doesn't read red pen. So if anybody tries to mark a ballot, no other pens in there are allowed but red pens. No photography, unfortunately. When I'm trying to get some photography done in a minute, I'll
peach ice cream. Is it real peach?
But they come in boxes. In each of those mail boxes, the ones that you get to see at the post office, those hold 300 ballots. Okay, those come in and they go through a machine to get counted. It's a big, huge rotisserie machine. Once they get counted, they go to another area where they get the verification of signatures, and we got to watch the machine verify signatures, which is very cool. So again, you guys should take the tour.
It's not the kind of stuff I'm into.
Get this on video for you guys so you guys can see it. Once it goes to the signature machine, about 1%, at least in San Mateo County, of the signatures are rejected. They didn't look like the previous signature. They didn't look like the signature that was on record. And by the way, on record means your previous ballots that you mailed in, your previous ballots that were registered. And then if they don't like those, then they go to the DMV version of your signature. So 1% of those ballots get thrown out, and they say, "Hey, we need to contact you and say what's going on. Your ballot was rejected. Would you like to send us another one?" All right, so 1%. And by the way, Riverside County, more like 8% of rejections, which is interesting. Okay, after the signature gets logged, it's still on the envelope. Then they go to the opening machine. A bunch of people slap them inside these machines. They get opened, sliced open, and then the ballots are pulled out, laid on a table.
Crystal's still telling me her family, her husband, all of them, they haven't counted any of their ballots, and they're in LA County.
Flattened so they're not all crinkly, and they go to the counters. The counters log them, and then they go to machines to get.
There's a website you can go to and check and see if they've counted your ballot.
Scan, zip, 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 scan, and then they put them in a package.
She has a feeling they intentionally threw them all out.
Of I think 500 or so. Then they seal the package, tape
Creamworks
it,
Dairy,
and then put it into a box. That's as far as I got with the tour that I went on. So that's how the ballot process works. Okay, so when you're seeing the stuff on the TV with that guy pushing the carts and the big, the one you saw in LA County, that box, the boxes on top of that rack, those are from the post office or from the drop boxes. Each of those boxes holds about 300 ballots. Okay, just an FYI. All right, what was the next one? Somebody said Fresno County. We'll do Fresno.
Yeah,
right now,
I was just gonna put it up on here so at least everyone can see while he's doing the numbers. You
Carolyn,
can see
thank you so much, Carolyn. Appreciate you. And by the way, we got 1,100 people watching. I want the hearts. Can you guys give me hearts? Here, I'll start it off here. Heart. There you go. I love those. I just like watching those stupid things come across the screen. All right, go on. Fresno County.
All right, Fresno County. It's another Hilton County by a lot. He's almost at 40%. Goodness, 38% if I'm being precise. Becerra at 20% and Steyer in third at 16%. They still have almost 40% of their vote out, but it isn't a high vote county, but it's going to really help him again keep Steyer at bay.
And he spent a lot of time there too, didn't he?
He did.
I think Ramin was there
really
with him a lot. They spent a lot of time there in Fresno. I was going to ask you, if you go and look, and I know there was a lot of questions about Bianco and his his big fans. Would you say that since you've seen or you're looking at all these counties, was there any county that kind of shocked you, or that maybe he, you see him?
Oh, really? There, John, she's moving over to there. I'm doing the Rumble because I can send it to so many platforms. And some of the platforms I'm getting views. Not many comments, but I'm getting views. I do get some over on locals and stuff like that, but
winning more so or gaining more votes now since we're kind of in the middle of this?
There is some, it is a little bit buggy on this Rumble, especially if they kick you off of something while you're live. It knocks you off of everything pretty much.
I think it's a good, to let everybody know that this is a good where you can look and see everything and kind of see where.
Yeah, I don't have the live thing for Getter. I am on Getter, but I share it as a link over there.
Where the votes went and what counties each person
It doesn't let
won.
me go live there.
Well, for me, it's always interesting to see where just as an example, somebody had asked for Imperial County, which I'm putting up on the
I'll
screen
still be
right
doing
now.
mine on
So what's
everything.
interesting for me is in this one, even though Becerra took
I don't know
the
if I can
county,
do a print screen.
Bianco came second and Steyer came third, and which means
I'm sending this to 18 places right now, live on 18 different platforms.
that Hilton is fourth.
18 or 19.
So that's
a
just
couple
an
of them
interesting
sends it
stat
to
for
at the
me.
same
That's
time.
Imperial.
2 or
Bianco
3.
came
That's
second.
See, StreamYard sends it to
What's
a
the
couple, and
demographics there?
Restream to 3.
I'd be curious to know what the demographics,
that's
what that
1, 2, 3.
environment is.
Yeah,
By
I'm
the way,
going
shout
to
out to Latino
18 or
Free
19
Minds also,
places.
and the True Hustle podcast. Those guys are my buddies, and a lot of Latino Free Minds, I think, is in Fresno, if I'm not mistaken. And it seems like a lot of the Hispanics in the central
went
region
early.
of the red areas there. That
I came on early because someone told me she was going to be on at 6 p.m., so I went at 4.
RJ is showing. We're
Then
staunch,
I'm more worried about ending
Chad
right at the right
supporters,
time,
okay?
too.
So God bless
So
you
I
guys.
try to...
Yeah, so you can see
Space
the
out
Imperial
the
County
videos
is
just right.
just here on the inland side of San Diego County, and there's a massive switch from it
Does anyone know, who's watching know these counties very well?
being a Hilton leading county to
It looks like
a
most
county
of
that
this
is
is
Becerra,
red.
but followed in second place with Bianco.
Interesting. Okay, and then I think we have. I don't know if we've done this one. Placer County.
Oh, okay.
Placer County. Oh yeah,
I don't have it on my
I'm familiar
phone.
with that. For those who don't know, that's north of north of Sacramento. Here we go. So Placer County, pretty healthy. Hilton County, one of his best actually. Yeah, he's at 40% and more in that county, followed by Becerra.
Greg, I'm not going to give you a thumbs up on that one though, because you're only 75% reporting, so you're just as good as LA right now, dude. Okay. F. All right.
Goodness.
I got to show you. We got some hearts.
Yeah.
I know, Ramin, you love hearts. Look at this. You got some purple hearts here. For
I
you,
love
okay?
hearts.
I just had
I
to
love
show
that.
it to
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. I also want to throw up Richard. Thank you, man. Santa Cruz Republican here. We have work to do. And yes, oh my God. Yeah, you do. So if you guys don't know, by the way, UC Santa Cruz is in Santa Cruz, obviously. Santa Cruz is, does anybody know what the animal for UC Santa Cruz is?
Do I have her on X? I don't know if I have
If I see it, as soon as I see it, I'm going to say
Send me her link.
Come on, man. I don't see it. What is the animal for UC Santa Cruz?
I love that you know this, and I don't even know this. So I'm
because it's right down the street.
Okay.
And it's crazy. I thought it was the wildest thing. There you go. Banana slug right there. Okay. You guys got it. It's insane. So the whole animal, the mascot for UC Santa Cruz is a yellow snail. Giddy up.
That is hilarious.
That's
that
funny.
is really funny. Wow. Oh, so what's it? An otter? That would be cuter, actually. An otter.
Right? You would think that.
I used to be able to go live on X, but they want you to pay for it, and I can't afford anything.
Okay, the next I have a couple more counties.
Oh, Santa Cruz. We're Santa Cruz reporting 62%, right? Is that it? Santa Cruz and Becerra.
Yeah. Since
wow.
It shouldn't. No surprises, right? Becerra followed by Steyer, followed by Hilton.
It's a very. What would you say? That's a very liberal area, pretty much. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Somebody mentioned Butte County, which hasn't come up a lot.
Yeah, that one. I did that. I was gonna just send that to you next. Yeah, we haven't talked about that one. I actually looked at that the other night. I was interested in that one. It's interesting.
Can you show us on the map where Butte County is?
Yeah,
for sure. It is about 70 miles from Sacramento. I'm trying to find it precisely, but yeah, it's in Northern California. This is nut farm country for those who are curious.
It's more. Would you say it's more rural, right?
Yeah, it is, but it's got it's smaller towns as well. Some people might know it most famously.
I don't know what her name is.
Like I said, the nut farms, and a couple universities and so on. And so this is considered in some ways.
Oh, I found her. I found her.
A bellwether county.
All right, I got her.
It picked Trump each time. And so
I found her.
It's
I found her, John.
And Hilton was there many times in this.
I am friends with her there.
So, but the stats for it, 71% counted. It is a low population county. Hilton's still ahead, 30%.
He did really well there. It seems like Hilton did really well. I mean, look at his lead.
Yeah. But you got to understand that this ranking, Hilton,
I'll stay on this.
Steyer and Bianco. Steyer and Bianco
and I'll keep
about
trying to work the bugs out.
This totally makes sense because it is a right-leaning county, but it's got a huge I say this with affections, hippie contingent. So that's where the Steyer goes. Yeah. And then you've got the country folks, people who love their farms, country music, and so there you've got.
Hold on, Butte County. You said it's the hippie guys, really?
Well, you've got the hippie. You've got the it's a right-leaning county, but it's got a big art scene up there. The grunge style and the single origin coffee people, if you will.
Wow,
patchouli. Okay. Yeah. So it's a hippie town as much as it is a country town. It's an interesting.
You know what's a weird county for me is Modoc. That recently came into my vocabulary for no reason whatsoever. Yeah. And it's one of the counties that got sucked into the Prop 50 redistricting thing. And I know a couple of people from Modoc at this point. I've met a few. And that's the northernmost county, right? Right there. Yeah, there it is, right there.
I have it up.
How are they reporting? What's the percentage in on that?
Oh, over 95. So they're almost all in. Hilton won that. No surprises.
But look how many voters. Like if you look at the total the number, it's so crazy that it's so little,
Yeah.
But actually, if you can show the map on there, RJ, look at Modoc County got sucked into Napa County. And I believe also Marin County, if I'm not mistaken, on the new redistricting thing. So they drew a line all the way at the top of the northern state of California, all the way down the western side, and made that snake essentially as part of the Prop 50 redistricting thing. So all those farmer guys got sucked into the mix with all these blue guys on the coast, which is kind of a terrible thing. But that's the new Newsom world domination plan. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So would you say? I'm sorry. So Remy, do you think Hilton, the areas that he seems to spend a lot of time in? What I'm looking
just sent her a message.
I'm the analyzer here. Would you say that really did pay off for him?
I think it did.
I think it did.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, RJ, you're close to the case. So tell me.
I'm poor.
Well, only because we were talking about some areas I'm familiar with. So please jump in anytime. Ramin, I was just going to point out, so all this on the top right from Butte County up on the north right. So this is all mountainous farming, hiking, hunting folks, all this area. So
clearly that's Shasta Lake, right? Lake Shasta and all that.
Yeah.
That big mountain. Yeah, Shasta. Mount Shasta.
You got it. Lassen, right?
Well, that's weird, John. With Elon, it's locked. Maybe it got reported a lot. Maybe. Are you sure you weren't locked before Elon took over X?
And in fact, Lassen, as you can see,
shortly after he took over,
the county that Bianco did the best.
Because I've had the most freedom there of posting anything. Facebook and YouTube are the worst.
Right? He got 44%.
In fact, I got something from
fun factoid here on the.
They're blocking me on. I took some more videos down on me on Facebook just recently. The ones about the election steal.
Coast.
They probably won't like this
Humboldt County, where Steyer oddly won. Does anyone want to know why this is totally makes sense? Why he won?
Yeah, I want to know. Yeah, why?
This is marijuana country.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is hippie country again.
So does Steyer look? So Steyer was a San Mateo / Marin / San Francisco guy, right? That's where he started his fix.
Yep. So you've got Marin.
One of the guys in the chat just threw up that his dad,
that's weird.
His dad voted for Steyer. Well, here we go. My dad lives in Humboldt and he hates billionaires, but voted for Styrofoam. Okay, there you go. And also, there's another one I wanted to put up on the screen. This one, I love this comment. Thank you, David. California has been known to cause TDS. There is no cure for it. Here's how I categorize TDS. By the way, TDS is really a disease. It truly is. It exists. Okay. And you got to treat it with care. If you guys like animals, I love animals.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch
just
too.
Imagine getting a dog who's been abused, and he'll
get
bite
a few comments there, not a lot.
Until you put him in a situation where he can start trusting you again. This is what's happened to Californians. I think a lot of this TDS stuff is just wounds. They don't know why they're barking. They don't know why they're mad. They don't know why they hate Trump. Whatever. Okay. But again, it comes back to this whole thing I told you guys about earlier. Chad knelt to BLM. Steve Hilton's a British plant or something like that.
One of them I like to stream to, but they don't say much. They do watch it. Is over on BitChute, something called BitChute.
That whatever, okay?
I do get a fair number that watch it there.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
I don't say anything.
And I think you guys are just, those people have been
not much
struck by TDS. All right, back to the comments. All right, what do you got?
I got some good ones. Should we start going through some more comments?
Yeah.
Okay. I see some more counties. So how about this? We'll throw in some counties
let's go.
and then we'll throw
Yuba.
in some comments. Yuba.
Let's go
with Yuba and then we'll go into the comments.
Hang on. Yuba.
So Yuba, tell us a little bit about Yuba. And has anyone ever been there? Have you been there, Ramin? I've not been there.
It's north. It's very north.
See, Hilton's ahead, and there's only 52% counted. So you would think he would pick up more votes there.
Yeah. It is again a very farming heavy community. Yuba County up here. It's near towns some people might know, like Marysville, Roseville, those types.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot of
some on there. And so it's just next to Butte County, which we were talking about moments ago.
Low percentage there, too.
But low population. Hilton did win it. Bianco second, Becerra third. Totally checks with demographics. But they're only halfway in, so we'll see them probably jump a little.
But they're pretty close, like Hilton and Bianco and Yuba specifically.
Yeah, again.
Right? Yeah.
All right, I'm going to move on to some of my other videos that I collected on this issue. It's a lot going on with it. Let me get back in here in the cheating one. Yeah, let's do this one.
Consent that the following amendments or motions be the next in order: Hickenlooper 5501 and Cam 5545.
Vote the yeas are 48. The nays are 50. 3/5 of the senators duly chosen and sworn.
Now look who voted against the SAFE Act. Now later on, Collins and I think either Tillis or Murkowski voted. A couple, 2 or 3 of them changed their. I don't think McCollum did, but changed their votes, and it did pass in the wee hours of the morning.
Not having voted in the affirmative, the motion is not agreed to. The point of order is sustained and the amendment fails.
So you guys see what they're really about, right? This old school neocon GOP. And there's a reason why Dan Crenshaw's gone. John Cornyn's gone. Bill Cassidy is gone. It's because of fucking scumbags like this. Why would you not vote for a bill to ensure that only American citizens can vote in fucking American elections? This is bullshit. I didn't serve for this shit, for these lying fucking scumbags that won't even pass a simple bill to protect our nation, our most sacred right, which is to vote in this country. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. Here's a little humor on this.
How can we count the ballots until we know how many votes we need?
Let me play that one again.
How can we count the ballots until we know how many votes we need?
Exactly right.
You guys want to see how safe and secure mail-in voting is? Here's our mailbox. We got in the middle of the day. She doesn't live here. She doesn't live here. She doesn't live here. 1. We have 4 ballots. Literally one of them lives here. Pretty safe and secure.
Yep.
Now, I know that I'm not the only one calling bullcrap on this. There is absolutely no way possible that Spencer Pratt got not a single vote from any of the mail-in ballots. Not a one of them. Does it not bother anybody that California is blatantly cheating and they're
pretty much all of them went to that other lady, the other commie?
Not even trying to hide the fact that that's what they're doing? It scares the hell out of them that Spencer Pratt would likely win if they weren't cheating.
Well, the other thing is in the fall, they don't want Republicans to turn out. That's what they're trying to stop. Because if there's only Democrats on the ballot, you don't turn out, and that hurts you up and down the ballot. I've been saying that over and over again.
I need to understand this. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And re-electing Karen Bass would be one of the worst mistakes California would make. And not that they're known for making great decisions. However, re-electing Karen Bass is a terrible idea. Spencer Pratt is the change that Los Angeles needs. So unless you guys want drug use to get worse, unless you guys want crime to get worse, homelessness to get worse, vote for Spencer Pratt.
They're going out and handing them to vote, a lot of the homeless money. Well, now, you don't think that the stuffing happens? Watch this.
We'll cheat this city.
This is the funny one.
We'll cheat this city with mail-in votes. Cheat this city. We'll cheat this city with mail-in votes.
Angelinos, if you don't vote, I don't want to hear you ever complain about any of the filth, crime, or decline in LA again. So get off your butt and vote, or enjoy what you get. And even if they try and cheat, remember,
Get
God always
separated,
wins.
right?
You say you didn't vote for me. You say I'm a disgrace. There's no way 7 people
It's family,
live
right?
in this place. Stepping in poo-poo, needles shining bright. Election interference going on all night. While Spencer plays the victim, we watch all the ballots grow. Don't you remember? We'll cheat this city. We'll cheat this city with me.
Yeah, I usually don't engage when, I'm not, like, there's some people that really hate Jews and stuff like that. I don't hate Jews. I don't necessarily, I'm not Jewish, but I don't necessarily hate Jews either. So that little part right there where she was doing the balance, right there, that's an actual video. That's not AI right there.
Cheat this city. We'll cheat this city with mail-in votes. Cheat this city. We'll cheat this city with mail-in votes.
That's AI.
This is where I live. They let my home burn down. I know what the consequences of failed leadership are.
Democrats are playing interference games. Big deal, we're always changing phantom ballot names. Pratt just wants to lead here. Angelinos feel the same. They call Bass irresponsible. Fire is a crime to blame. While Spencer plays the victim, we watch all the ballots grow. Don't you remember? We cheat this city. We cheat this city with mail-in votes. Cheat this city. We cheat this city with mail-in votes. Cheat this city. We cheat this city with mail-in votes.
Maybe this needs to happen so we can catch them. Because I think they're all over this. From what I'm hearing, they're all over this right now. I'm hoping they catch a bunch of them. I think some of it's already, where they've got a lot of these ballots made out and stuff, ahead of time. And we might not be able to catch them all, but there's something not right here.
So now the numbers are out. Let's see. Oh, look who's gaining. Do you know who she is? No, even Los Angeles residents don't know who this woman is. Nithya Ramalama Ding Dong somehow has gained percentage points over Spencer Pratt. And let's take a look at here. Her numbers ain't moved. So any of the ballots that came in for Bass, are they going to Nithya Raman now? Because Bass is not in it.
That's what they need.
How are the calculations calculating? Because the math ain't mathing. You believe this buttery bullshit? You must be high on that super meth or fentanyl that Pratt has been warning about.
Yep.
Someone explain to me how Nithya Raman is almost beating Karen Bass at this point. So Nithya Raman only has 21,000 votes to catch up with Spencer Pratt. Do you realize how ridiculous that is?
Less than that now.
They are going to be counting these ballots for weeks. And the best part is there are still 253,000 ballots left to count. And Nithya Raman, who actually supported Nithya Raman besides Chelsea Handler and other celebrities? Because I didn't see massive support for her on the internet. I am deep in the politics on all social media platforms. Most people thought Nithya Raman was a joke. This makes absolutely no sense to me. Is she going to have more ballots than Karen Bass at the end of the day? Because I am just... California needs a full investigation. California needs an investigation. This is not normal. Nowhere in the world does this, California. Nowhere in the world counts ballots for weeks on end, allows them to come in super late, and has ballot boxes all over unattended that you can just shove anything into or light on fire, apparently. I am so over California. If this is how this primary election is going, Donald Trump, I am urging you to get a handle on this. before we have the midterms, because this
I'm
is
sucking
definitely a
at
sign
bashing.
of what's to come.
Yeah. Oh, I was in the chat there. I'll catch up with chat here in a second.
Well. I went to vote. Do my civic duty.
Now, this lady is in Florida.
And give my ID.
It even happens there.
And the lady is like, did you submit a mail-in ballot? And I said, no. And she says, what's your address? Can you verify your address? Sure, here's my address. Matches my license. That matches my face because the picture on my license is me. And she says, well, you voted yesterday. I said, no, I didn't vote yesterday. I'm here voting right now. So what's the problem? Said, what's the problem? She says, she asked for the little supervisor, poll manager, whatever, to come over. And they make a call. You can't tell me who voted for me or where they voted for security reasons. But I had to submit a provisional ballot that goes before a panel of 3 judges, and they have to approve my vote, the real one. Interesting. So I get a little tracking number to track my vote. But y'all go vote early because something's fishy to me and I don't like it. How somebody with a similar name to me that lives on my street, it doesn't make any sense. This has never happened to me before, but go vote early. Double check everything when you vote. Make sure your vote counts. It's important.
I don't know who Brian Russ is, actually. I'll have to come back to that. Hold on. Where was I here? Oh, this is the humor one. I forgot. Taking mornings off, huh? I tend to see a lot of clips that are sent to me, but lately I get a lot of messages from the people in Iran right now. I think I'm going to do a show on what's going on there. That government is falling. You just don't see it. You know, they're turned against each other. They're broke. A whole bunch of stuff that's going on. They're attacking each other. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. I don't know. I'm going to see.
So much corruption, California fact, compromised instead.
Now, who is this lady right here? Who is this lady? She has something to do with elections. I know. I've seen her in other videos.
This time it's we will never be like before.
ERS. That's a short for someone.
Shining in the light. California's mine. Mine, oh mine. Come on.
This shit is rigged.
USA first. It is. I'm into saving the world. USA first, which in that case helps save the world.
Anyone else notice that mail-in ballots always, every single time, benefit the Democrats to the extreme, meaning a batch of 100 ballots comes in and 100 of them go for the Democrats. Spencer Pratt was doing great. They stopped the counting of the votes completely, just like 2020. Then they start resuming and they start counting these mail-in ballots coming in the middle of the night, whatever. And all of a sudden, Spencer Pratt is no longer really a contender in the race. This is not a coincidence. I mean, once or twice is a coincidence. The fact that this happens over and over and over is not a coincidence. We need to secure our elections and start treating our elections as a matter of national security in this country, because it is. We need to end election season, go to election day, have the ballots, paper ballots, counted by hand at the precinct level, and it should be live streamed so anybody can watch it.
I don't know who Brian is.
That's what we need to do. This needs to be treated as a matter of national security. What do you guys think?
Yeah, the number Trumpers really get to me, I tell you that.
The exposing is happening in record numbers. Everyone's watching it. It's exposing at its best. Spencer Pratt got 0 out of the 24,000 votes in a late night LA ballot drop. That's 0 out of 24,000. A guy getting around 30% support got 0 out of 24,000. Are you kidding me? Astronomically small probability of that ever happening. Impossible. California is no longer even hides it anymore. The doors need to be kicked in, is what he says, and I agree with him. And I think all of this is going to lead beautifully, just beautifully, to a national emergency.
Lots of red flags from me. I got to catch up on the chat here in a minute. I will. These video clips are all short.
Cheating. If you're wondering why we still cannot get full results for the LA mayoral race, the only answer that makes any sense at all is cheating. And the thing is, the fact that so many people will defend the fact that it's taken so long goes to show just what the Democrats have done to not just California, but the rest of the country at large, because this is not normal. We're now sitting here almost 5 days after the election. You're telling me they can't get their act together and count the, what is it, maybe 1 million votes that have to do with this race, right?
Yeah, but I can't go left.
Oh, well, this is normal. Like, this is just the way things are. No, it isn't. Let me tell you something. I remember watching elections back in 2000, 2004, 2008, and we always had results, if anything, at the very latest, maybe the morning after the election, right? But now there's a generation of people who've been raised on this errant notion that, oh yeah, it takes as long as it takes. Just trust the process, trust the outcome. This is California we're talking about, right? Didn't California approve a high-speed rail back in 2008, and it is now 2026 and it still isn't done? You know how old I was in 2008? I was 16 years old, and now today I am 34, okay? And didn't they approve a land bridge back in 2022? And that isn't even done yet. And that was a $100 million project there. This is the epicenter of liberal corruption. And the longer we have to wait before we actually get results, the more it's baked in that Democrats will do whatever they have to do to stay in power. And they don't even care if the entire world is watching. They will sit there and drag their feet and find a way to run out the clock to make sure they tilt the scales for the people that they want and the people that they want only. And Californians, and honestly Americans, deserve so much better. You know it, and I know it too.
He's right. Where was I on this? Okay, here's the lines.
You guys ready to see some bullshit? All right, so green is ramen noodle, yellow is Spencer, and blue is basura. So from election night to June 4th, these were the results, right? Now look at what happens when mail-in ballots started coming in. Really?
See the green line? Now, Bass didn't go up that much. Only slightly better than Platt did. But hers, look at hers. Makes you wonder.
Really? Look at the spike in her numbers. Karen Basura stayed the same, Spencer dipped, and Ramadan skyrocketed.
That's because that's where they need to get him to get 2 Democrats in the finals. And they pretty much know Bass is going to win that. But it wouldn't matter to them if the other commie won it either.
I can't. This is going to be a very interesting week. Peace.
The guy is gay, by the way.
At this point, the only real way to stop voting fraud is to put everything on the blockchain. Like, we know what's going on in Los Angeles. We know what's going on in California. I'm born and raised here, and we have seen the same playbook over and over and over and over and over again. And even Newsom knows it. And that's exactly why he signed SB 73, okay? Because they don't want the feds to come in and to investigate what's really happening. I'm born and raised in LA County, okay? And I talk to people from all different sets, all different neighborhoods, and nobody Nobody I know.
I bet you late tomorrow that he'll be in third place. And they'll call the race then.
Is voting for Baz or Rahman. Nobody is. Everybody's voting for Pratt. Doesn't matter where they're from, doesn't matter the background,
Pratt,
any of it. And it's just becoming so sickening to see all of this happen in real time. And I think that we forget, and I think the politicians forget that we are their bosses. Tax-paying Americans, tax-paying Californians are politicians' bosses. And they forget who's paying their salary, but they continue to practice egregious behavior.
I don't know
so
the
at the end of
Brian
the day,
guy
just put it all on the
about.
blockchain, make it transparent. I'm over it.
I listened to a little bit of Benny Johnson, not the whole thing often, but to get the main stuff and stuff like that. But I get a lot of messages.
We don't care.
You know? So I'm thinking some people are going to go down for these. Here's the ballot.
We designed a law to protect our elections.
Want some truthfulness, corrupt leaders hope we're blind. Again you rig our votes and pray we'll forgive. Robbery, there is no other word.
Actually, it happens here, Tammy, in New York too. Not as blatant. It's not as blatant as there, but it's bad. Tina 40 was running and she was ahead on election night and this and that. Then somehow mysterious ballots and some of hers disappeared. She couldn't get to see him or anything like that.
Every vote you count turns blue. Robbery.
Yeah.
The same old game occurred, but this time
Mexico's
we're
coming
after you.
That's what I'm hearing. They're going to come after the ones doing this. They're waiting for them to actually totally break the law. And then once they certify this, then they can come after them.
We see you. You're busted.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hoping it's true. I hope it happens quick too.
This is just insane. Happy Sunday, everyone. Oh, this is some bull. So ramen noodle soup is set to take over second place with 78% of the vote counted. Check this out. Ridiculous. Look at last night's batch. Every single batch, she's outperformed both Karen Basura and Spencer. Like, the cheating in real time is ridiculous. Mind you, this is where she was on election night.
Where is he at, John?
So you're telling me
not in Texas?
That this woman that no one's ever heard of, who came in third, rightfully so,
How's
on
your
election
state,
night,
Marianne?
all of a sudden is getting all the major votes on each single ballot dump? Don't play with me.
Actually, I'm in contact with a lot more out in California that are conservative. They don't believe their state is so blue. It's the cheating and, they own all the judges and all that,
And the fact that we've already caught you guys not giving Spencer any votes.
If we get real elections out there, we'll start winning down ballot more, and then those people can move up to higher positions.
Oh, but the LA Times had something to say about that. Here, the LA Times...
California used to be a red state.
Says, yes, tens
Northern
of thousands
California
of
is
mail-in ballots
conservative,
did get processed for only Mayor Karen Basura and ramen noodle soup, but it was a glitch. They say the system just glitched for a minute and didn't process any ballots for Spencer Pratt, but really, there were ballots for Spencer. They just didn't get processed during the glitch. Really?
That's more conservative up there, John.
Double his votes, but yet election night, she was trailing so far behind them. It is statistically impossible, mathematically impossible for him not to receive any votes. Here's my silver lining, however. The president is aware of this. He knows that this happened to him in 2020. He already sent a DOJ prosecutor down to LA. So we have to wait to see what happens this week. Because if they find fraud, there's going to have to be a recount. And that...
I almost guarantee you they're going to find it.
That's where things are going to get interesting. But now I want to hear from you guys. Are the Democrats set to steal?
I hope that they can still get the Republicans through and they can correct this for the fall, that they can't cheat in the fall, and that'll help them in the House races. That's going to be so important. Otherwise, they're going to impeach Trump.
This again? Or is the president 10 steps ahead? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, love you guys. Peace!
This guy, Robert.
Election fraud probe now opened in California.
I wanted to save this for last. This is about the probe. They're going after him.
California after the ballots just keep coming in. Millions of outstanding votes not counted by California communists who say no big deal here. But now the DOJ says there might be a big deal. We want to accelerate this thing. A lot of reaction from Steve Hilton and others who are demanding an outcome. But the interesting little problem that we see repeatedly is once there's an initial tranche of results, some reason, for some mechanism, it always ends up that the votes continue to close until the right outcome is fixed and fraudulently imposed on the state. We saw a lot of this back in 2020, where the votes got delayed because of water main breaks and so on and so forth. But now the DOJ is on scene. Matt Finn is over at Fox News. He says an assistant U.S. attorney, a guy called Robert Renner, is observing and asking questions inside LA County's Central Processing Center, where hundreds of thousands of ballots in this location remain to be counted. Spencer Pratt now, according to some markets, not going to ascend into the general election. Weird how that works. Also with him is a worker who came over from AG Rob Bonta's office. And here's the scene, very short clip from Fox News inside the counting center. Much more to come, but here's what this one sounded like.
Oh, that would be, I mean, we can't enter the room, but the closest we can be is pointing in the direction where that is. Yeah.
Workers showing him around.
Bullpen area, and this is the closest we can be. Yeah, come on in.
U.S. attorney on scene, a little bit more pep in the step from people there. The monitoring shall continue until the outcome is decided. And here's what Bill Esseley had to say. He is a U.S. attorney out there. He said, protecting the integrity of California's elections is a top priority for my office. California's election system has serious structural vulnerabilities, saying universal vote by mail with no voter ID requirements creates conditions where fraud can go undetected and unpunished, eroding public confidence. Without commenting on any specific investigation, my office has multiple election fraud investigations underway in coordination right now with FBI Los Angeles. We will follow the evidence wherever it leads and prosecute any violations of federal election law to the fullest extent of the law. My office is also working closely with Harmeet Dillon to conduct a comprehensive audit of California's voter rolls. The state has stonewalled every effort to verify that only eligible U.S. citizens are registered to vote. This case is now before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and my office will not look the other way. We will investigate and prosecute. Every legal vote deserves to be counted. Every illegal vote cancels one out. And we've been covering California for months now. We saw Chad Bianco went into Riverside, and he sees pallets full of ballots, saying that maybe there was an incongruency between the reported numbers and the total number of ballots. The AG Rob Bonta came in and said, how dare you actually count the votes or count the number of ballots? What we report is the...
So what do you think with what he's reporting here? What does everyone think is going to happen? Is anything going to happen where it's going to get fixed? And the SAFE Act, it's going to be signed by Trump in a few days. Probably by Tuesday.
Final number, and don't you dare question it. Then that went up to the Supreme Court in California. They kind of limited the whole thing, and it all came to a crashing halt. So it is now under investigation, and MJ Truth Ultra caught this one, which is pretty amazing. He says, I never pat myself on the back over here, but I will for this one. I am the man who caught them cheating in the California mayor race. Yep, that was me. This one, of course, involving Spencer Pratt. He says, I'm damn proud of it. He says, emoji to you, Gavi. Here's what you can see. So in the candidate race for LA mayor, you've got Karen Bass, you've got Spencer Pratt, Nithya Raman, and down here on the left, you see the before. On the right, you see the after. And down here, you see 39.3% of the votes are in, 308,878 total votes that have been counted. And Spencer Pratt has 86,323 votes. So put a pin in that number. Then once we get another dump of the ballots, 42% comes in. So it goes from 39.3 to 42.4%. Wow, we got a bunch of votes in. 308 total goes up to 333 total. And so you would expect kind of an even split amongst the candidates. Some people would get more votes, other people would get less votes. But what you see is Spencer Pratt got 0 votes. It goes from 86,323 at 308,000 total ballots to 86,323, the exact same number, with 42.4% of the votes. Every time.
time, too.
How the hell that happened?
Reminds you of 2020.
Every single vote in a tranche of 20-something thousand votes went for everybody other than Spencer Pratt. You see Adam Miller, no one knows who he is. He got more votes. He goes from 14.4 to 15.7. We've got Nithya. She gets another 10,000 votes, so 61,000 to 71,000. And of course, Karen Bass goes from 117,000 up to 130,000. Amazing. Not a single one in there voted for Spencer Pratt. Pretty shocked. Now they'll, come back and say, well, those are just anomalies. Those are weird counting errors. And we're reconciling the numbers on the end, and these are just being reported by the news. Whatever. Okay, you can see it right there. Everybody else's numbers changed. Spencer Pratt's numbers did not change at all. Over 20,000 votes came in. Nothing changes for the guy. So you can see it also mirrors the same patterns are existing. But down below, Javier Becerra from Joe Biden's terrible administration. Again, 3 million votes are in on that one. Then it goes up to 3.1 million down here below. Everybody else's numbers changed. Okay, so 796 for Javier goes up to 826. He got a bunch of votes. Steve Hilton goes from 773 up to 820. Even a Republican got votes in that batch. We saw another one for Tom Steyer, goes from 596 up to 619. And then Chad Bianco, the sheriff who was investigating election fraud in his location, goes from 345 to 359. So Republicans do get votes, but not this guy, not Spencer Pratt. He stays exactly the same across the board. And that came over from MJ Truth Ultra, and that basically gives the game away. So people are asking about it, obviously. The president himself was saying, hello, watch California, everybody. Our election process is as bad or worse than any third world country. The biggest difference is they count their votes much faster over there. They don't wait 7 days to tell you who won, rigging the election during each and every one of them. Americans are ashamed of what's happening. Signed, President Donald J. Trump. Now, Comer and the oversight
they don't want Pratt to win.
Talking about this with Laura Ingraham, they said the LA Times.
With the momentum Pratt's got, I think he would beat Bass in the fall. I think he would. You give him another 5 months of his campaigning. He's doing really well. Did you see their debate? It was ridiculous. He tore both of them up.
Is reporting that California is still finding ballots in drop boxes weeks after Election Day, saying you can't make this up. This is from Comer on last night. He said, you can't make this up. How can anyone have confidence in California's elections? Well, normal people don't, but communists, that's just how it works. They go in and their dear leader gets like 99% of the vote, and they're like, wow, we love democracy. It's amazing here. So here's what.
Yeah, there was one ballot drop box that was burnt.
They had to say Eric Schmidt and James Comer on with Fox.
Congressman Comer, whether it's the Oversight Committee or Judiciary over in the House, same.
Bass was the one that burned all our houses down in the Palestine area. Palestine
type of analysis applies. The LA Times is reporting, by the way, that last month the Humboldt County Office of Elections discovered a stack of 596 sealed ballots from the most recent election left at the bottom of a locked voting drop box. The office discovered that the ballots were uncounted because of a staff error. When the workers checked the drop box, there was a miscommunication about whether it had been fully emptied. I'd say you can't make it up, but this is California, Congressman. What can the House do here?
Well, we've already had hearings in the Oversight Committee pertaining to mail-in ballots. We had them last year. We had the Postmaster General. We asked him, how long should it take for a ballot? How long should a voter assume it's going to take for the post office to deliver that ballot? And he said at least 7 days. So most states say you have to have the ballots in, obviously, by Election Day, but they encourage you to mail them no later than 7 days out. And with the drop boxes, I've always said the drop boxes should be eliminated because a lot of times in Kentucky, if someone is arrested and convicted for voter fraud, it always pertains to absentee ballots. And one of the charges they get on them is mail-in fraud. So if you just have drop boxes, you take out a tool in the toolbox to hold people accountable for cheating. These people in California know that. They know all the tricks of the trade, just like what we're seeing with these fraudsters and the welfare fraud in all these blue states. And it's despicable. And I hope that Congress can do something about it.
Yeah, so do we there, James. And you're in Congress. And so is Eric Schmidt in the Senate. But Matt Finn was out. He was showing us one of these machines. Again, this guy is in the building. He's the same guy who shared with us the video of the U.S. attorney. He said, live look at the L.A. County ballots going through signature verification on the L.A. mayor's race. And so here's one of the machines. Counting. Spencer Pratt rejected. Blue, good, good. Republican, rejected. So it's all getting signature checked. And we know how these things work. They don't actually really check the signatures hardly at all. And it's just kind of an assembly line, just pump those ballots in. And various other secretaries say we don't even want to check the signatures. We just presume they're valid. And you can turn those verification numbers up or down to say we want a 90% validity. That's a little high. We might have some false positives. People's signatures are a little bit squiggly, so we'll bump it down to 70. Well, it's still too many false positives. We don't want to do a bunch of signature checks. So we turn it down 50%. Maybe it's 30%. Who the hell knows? And they just pump them through. So all that's happening. And Hilton has a full proposal. He said, California is the laughingstock of the nation.
Yeah, dead people can't sign that
when it comes to election reporting. True. And in many other ways. We are the 4th largest economy in the world. We are home to Silicon Valley and some of the most advanced technology on earth. Yet government bureaucrats need a month to count fewer than 10 million ballots a month. India counts 600 million in a day. One day, Hilton will call on Governor Newsom to immediately establish an emergency election support corps, deploying available state employees and rapid response support teams to counties facing significant ballot processing delays. It's not really a delay, right? This is the whole procedure. Wait a minute. You want us to get additional support to come in and stop our cheating? Well, obviously, no. We don't want any support because the system is working as planned. This is the whole point of the system. California's election system has become another monument to government incompetence. We are the 4th largest economy, yet somehow we can't even tell people who won an election without making them wait a month. It's insane. Every election brings the same excuses, the same delays, the same collapse in public confidence, and Californians deserve better. And they do. I mean, they're American citizens too. And we want California to be a sane state. But unfortunately, it's been commandeered by the communists. So here, this one from Hilton, he said, this is absolutely astonishing and shocking. You can't even work on this. I'll have a lot more to say about.
Yeah, who was it that said that? Tammy, about the 81 million ballots. How did he get it? Actually, they had less than that prepared. That's why they had to stop the counting. So they had to manufacture more and truck some more in. They outvoted the original cheating. They had to cheat even more. Remember, the counting went on for days, until Friday, Saturday, they were still counting in Pennsylvania.
But this guy is completely detached from reality. And here was more from Hilton. He said, here is what I propose. Election California Democrats have turned our state into a global laughingstock. India counts 600 million a day. California counts less than 10 million in a month. Make sure your vote is counted. Watch this video for the next steps you should take. We're watching everything closely. We have lawyers standing by if needed. We're as confident as ever that we will make the top 2. As governor, I will replace this absurd system. We cannot have another election that makes us look like a failed state. Make sure your vote is counted.
John, they are raising hell in that state, but they control nothing in that state. They got a super majority there, the way they've stolen everything.
And thank you. Stay focused. Change is coming back to California.
That's why with the SAFE Act, a lot of these illegals aren't going to be able to vote, voter ID. They can't do all this mail-in crap when that SAFE Act goes in. It just finally got passed. Now they're going to legally fight it in the courts. But I think that's going to really help.
Everyone, just a quick update on the election, particularly the governor's race. We are as confident as we've ever been that I'm going to make it into the top 2, be there in the general election, and offer California a real chance for change this year. Change is coming. Having said that, this election is just another massive shambles brought to you by California Democrats, on top of the high-speed rail that they can't build, the homelessness that they can't clear up despite spending billions of dollars on it. Now they can't run an election. It is an absolute joke. Makes California a laughing stock.
How does Florida count all their ballots in a couple hours and we take weeks?
We are a laughingstock, but even Democrats are admitting that right now.
This is a national disgrace, my friends. Forget that. It's an international disgrace.
And now they want to put, by the way, someone in charge who even the Joe Biden cabinet thought was its own.
We've got the worst elections in the world for security and stuff.
Most useless member. This is just beyond real. You've got Nate Silver saying that what's going on with California's elections is failed state stuff. And that is exactly right. Because under...
And he's a leftist.
16 years of Democrat one-party rule, it is a failed state. I want to reassure you of a couple of things. When you see things out there about shenanigans with the election or whatever it may be, I just want to reassure you that our team is on it. We are keeping a very, very close check on
That's why they needed the China virus to get Biden in to start with.
everything. We have a team of lawyers standing by if needed. So far, there hasn't been anything that makes us think we need to move into action with lawyers, but they are ready when needed.
LA County, that's the worst one.
Most important thing is actually what you can do. I want every single one of you to make sure that your vote for me and for all the other candidates you supported is counted. You need to go to this website.
Now, that recording was made about 4 days ago.
California.ballottracks with an X.
I think that's changed
Or you can
since
just Google, where's my ballot? That will tell you where your vote is, whether it's been received, counted, and so on. It's a good service. I use it myself. You can have confidence in it. It will tell you what's happened to your ballot. Then, if there are any issues at all that you're concerned about relating to your ballot or anything else that you're seeing with this election, please report it. Here's where you need to go. The California Republican Party website, CAGOP.org. Then you'll see a button that says election integrity. Please make an incident report. There's a button there that says incident report. So that is what I'm asking every single one of you to do. Make sure you track your ballot. Make sure that your vote is counted and your voice is heard. At the end of all this, even if it's another month, it looks like it might be, I think that we're going to be in a very strong position because we're going to be in the top two, ready to offer change to California. And one of the biggest changes we need to make is to our election system. India counted over 600 million votes in a day. California is less than 10 million, and it's going to take a month. Totally unacceptable. It's yet another example of how we need massive change in this state, and that's the change that is coming.
Nice video. We like to see that. And we were keeping our eyes on Spencer Pratt, and he's been pretty quiet today. Not much on his timeline over on X. He said patience and posted these videos looking filled with fortitude. And we'll see if he has any other updates coming soon. So some photos from Spencer Pratt.
You know, Tammy, most of those funds are coming from our tax dollars. They need to keep milking those tax dollars so they money launder it back.
Says patience. We're going to keep our eye on this.
Marianne,
and see what
I only got
happens.
two little
the
short
election
videos
fraud
left.
probe now
I'll be off in a few
unleashed
more
in
minutes.
California. We've got lots of evidence of voter fraud that has already been charged and people pleading guilty to. In California, the U.S. Attorney's Office is on scene, and I guess we'll wait until they get up and go count some more ballots with updates coming on Tuesday and after and beyond.
Some are saying they have to wait until they actually commit it. Once they certify it, then they can go after them. I got a couple of them short videos here.
What they did to the lives of people, they destroyed people. They sent people to jail who did nothing wrong.
All right, just to be very clear, there's no evidence of what you're saying, but let me ask you about Todd.
Because they were cheating.
Todd Blanche. Let me ask you about Todd Blanche.
Listen to me.
Let's talk about Todd
tremendous
Blanche.
evidence. There's nothing
What's
but
not
evidence.
been presented
The election
in a
was
court of
rigged.
law.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in
never
California.
presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right
2020
now in
election was
California.
rigged.
Right now, look at what's
Where's
happening
the
in
evidence
California.
to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. No, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count
You know
the
why they're
votes in
doing that? Because
California.
they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
All
that?
I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not
And I
evidence.
listen. And I listen to people. And let's see what happens.
I think at the end of this, he gets up and walks out.
Sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's
And
appropriate?
That's how they
that
count the votes in
Do you think it's
California.
appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner?
and local officials acknowledge
Good night,
they
everyone.
are slow. They're
I got one more
urging-
video after this.
They,
A good
they're
one. You
urging
want
the
to see
votes to
it.
be counted quicker. That's
It's a
how they do it
patriotic
in
one.
California.
Just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked. And Meet the
5
Press
p.m.
is
tomorrow.
crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well, you
continue.
play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
you know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You
Blanche.
have more evidence.
We try to present evidence and you get kicked off of social media.
There's more
I show it all the time
than ever presented.
Let's
They
talk
went after
about
me on
Elections
Facebook.
in this country, we're like a third world country.
But, sir-
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what? A country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on,
traveled
let's go.
all the
He
way
ends
to
up
Wisconsin.
stepping on the mic. See, he stepped on the mic. Or the mic for him. Oh, boy. All right, I got one more patriotic one.
I spoke with President Trump on Saturday, and we both acknowledged the complications during the interview posed by the rain.
Posed by the rain. How about her insisting that there isn't any cheating going on? We're going to prove it here shortly.
Mine eyes.
Maybe this cheating in California is happening for a good reason, so we can clean up elections.
Of the
I'll close with this one. God bless everyone.
He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the faithful lightning.
I'll probably play this one again in the future.
Swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Yeah.
His truth is my.
She's insisting that you can still go after the January Sixers, and they were upset about the stealing. Including me.
He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never come retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. God bless America. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, while God is marching on.
Glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory,
hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. His truth is marching on.
Sing it as you. Don't you hear her?
God bless America.
I know. You're right, John.
Bless America.
John, yeah, you're right. When I was a kid, D-Day was a big deal. It was a big deal, and I remember that, when I was a kid. Exactly. I agree, John. 100%. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Take care, everyone. God bless. Bye-bye.